Click the first link in the description for the best Askreddit content. Today I fucked up by telling my son there was a fictional being called the pecker snatcher who steal his junk if he didn't put it away. So my 4-year-old son liked to dance around naked after baths and while changing him. As cute as he can be, it gets old after a while, and if you've ever had a boy, you know how they can become obsessed with their peckers. I told him one night that if he didn't put it away, the pecker snatcher would come and take it. He looked at me with some disbelief and said I was kidding him. I told him it was the truth, and that is what happened to his sister. His eyes got big and he put his pants on. Fast forward a couple days and him and his sister have now elaborated on the story, and the pecker snatcher is now a man who has a basket full of peckers that he carries with him, and other elaborations on the story. All was good and well until he explained the entire mythology they created to their grandparents and teachers. Now I'm the weirdo. Parenting is dumb. Too long didn't read. I created a fictional pecker snatcher so my son would put his pants on, and he and his sister elaborated on it and told other adults. I told my son that a rooster was called a cock in a picture book. He thought I was talking about the truck the rooster was on. Definitely was not a fun time for a while when we were out in public and he screamed cock constantly. My nephew has a hard time saying truck, and he loves trucks. When he sees them outside he screams fuck cckkkk. I told mine that a bird might fly in and snatch it. Mostly works and it's not entirely a lie. As unlikely and improbably as it may be, a bird could fly in and take a bite. Just wait till he's a teenager and brings a girlfriend over. Edit, holy guacamole, this struck a nerve. My kids are grown and married now, but they learned early on that just as children embarrass their parents, ultimately the tables are turned. Our son is embarrassment proof. Then it's gonna be dad telling him that the pecker snatcher is coming for any little boys who are getting it out without a condom on it. Well, my kids are in bed now, so I have time to offer you my response. 46M, my son is also 4, just started JK, and he has not paid particular attention to his penis since forever. Since school started he's been doing some weird stuff that I will attribute to school jitters working themselves out of his system. He started humming a song the other night, probably Thursday or Friday, no words, just a tune. I asked him at shower time what he was singing. He said nonchalantly my penis song. I was like, love my penis, 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 penny, penny, penis, 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 this is my penis, penny, penny, penny eyes. He decided to regale my in-law and the entire family this morning during our monthly Zoom call. My wife was crawling at /up/the walls / clawing at the wall. Edit, thanks everyone and the awards. Finally getting around to changing the misspelled words. I haven't heard some say pecker in years. When my son was little he called it his weenie butt. No idea why. My 6-year stepdaughter calls her vulva her front butt. I suppose it makes sense. Today I fucked up by convincing my girlfriend she needed to use a dildo before having sex with me. Since my last post blew up I thought I'd share another one of my sexual encounters for your amusement. As usual, this was not today. I was 17, so this was many years ago now. Also, I only take partial responsibility. She was the one that fucked up really. As horrific as this story may sound, the girl in question later went on to have a kid with me, and we were together for a long time, so maybe you could call the trauma a bonding experience. I was 17 years old, very inexperienced at sex. I had no idea what I was doing, to be honest. I had probably had sex 3 or 4 times in my life before this situation. Anyway, met a girl from Scotland, she was 17 and a virgin. Got all loved up, went on a couple of dates, was really getting the feels for her. I was an extremely horny 17-year-old, and when we ended up back at her place while her mother was out, my teenage brain just assumed we have to have sex, right? No way, we are not having sex right now? My teenage dick very much agreed with my brain. Things got hot and heavy, couldn't keep our hands off each other, clothes being thrown everywhere. But when it came to the actual deed, I couldn't get it done. Couldn't get it in. She instantly changed the mood and started stressing out, which in turn stressed me out. There was a lot of poking and bumping and awkwardness until she put her knickers back on. I blamed myself, got a bit huffy and went home to sulk. In hindsight, I was shit at foreplay and needed to take a lot more time with what I was doing, and had stressed her out to the point she couldn't go through with it. But I was 17, and inexperienced. Next day, I'm chilling with my mates and tell them the story. I share my frustration, and one of them, who in reality was a bullshitting virgin himself, told me exactly what I wanted to hear. He said, "Man, your dick must be too big in it. She couldn't take your dick, she needs to work up to your size." What I do is I get dildos of multiple sizes and break the girls in with those until they can handle my meat stick. Yes, we were exactly like the in-betweeners. I was a mix of Simon and Neil, and my mate was 100% J. We were too chavvy to have a will. Armed with the confidence-boosting theory that my penis was too big, I phoned my girlfriend, explained that I was sorry and that I didn't realize that my cock was too big for her. Thinking back on this, it is so cringe. I said I would bring some toys over to resolve the problem. She seems relieved that she wasn't the problem and excited that she was getting sex toys. So the following day, I head to town with the embarrassing task of buying dildos in Ann Summers. This would be something I would never have the bottle to do, but fueled by full balls, I grabbed the number 8 bus to town. I get off the bus and strut towards the sex toy shop, imaginary King Kong dick swinging between my legs. Knowing for sure I'd be getting laid later, and that I definitely get the job done this time around. Then my mobile rings. It was the cool Morpheus Motorola Matrix flip phone, if you will remember those. The future mother of my child is crying down the phone in hysterics, yelping in pain, and telling me I needed to come over quick. Like the hero that I am, I ran at speed towards her place. She let me in and ushered me into the bedroom. She was sobbing, and was struggling to get her words out. I finally calmed her down long enough for her to explain the problem. She said that she didn't think I'd bring any dildos and didn't want to mess up sex again. So, she thought she'd practice with a Dove deodorant stick. My mind blown. You used a stick of deodorant? You fucked yourself with a Dove deodorant? I started laughing. I couldn't stop myself, but her anger snapped me out of it. She then handed me the stick with no cap on it. I immediately think she's used it without the cap, and of course it's stingy as fuck down there. I ask her why on earth she didn't leave the fucking lid on. She started crying and said I fucking did. The cap's still in me. Balls. Needless to say, she wouldn't go to the hospital. She was mortified. She wanted me to have a go at fishing it out. She had tried herself and pushed it deeper. So there I was, a 17-year-old boy, laying on a bed with a girl on her back, legs akimbo in the air. Normally a great situation, but not like this. I had a flashlight in my mouth trying to look up inside a vagina, at first using my fingers but with no joy. I dread to think what my search history would have been like had smartphones existed. Okay Google, how do I fish out a deodorant cap from a vagina? How deep is the cervix? I eventually had to use 2 toothbrushes to form a kind of chopstick tweezing device. It was very intense. I felt like the world's shittest gynecologist. The cap was way up in there. It was touch and go. I gave up a few times and tried to get her to go to A&E, but in the end, persistence prevailed and I retrieved the cap. We were so fucking relieved. It was a great moment. We didn't have sex that night predictably, nor the night after. She was still too sore. But the following weekend we got that shit done. Best 6 minutes of sex I had ever had up until that point. I wish I could say we lived happily ever after, but I can't. She eventually got me in debt, shagged my mate, and stole my cat, my daughter and my house. But for a time we were happy. Thank you for reading. TL Doctor, first sexual experience with my future wife was fishing out a deodorant cap from her nether region using toothbrushes. Okay, see, this is why sex ed is important. Girl sobbing after long straining process of removing the deodorant cap. 17-year-old guy, so, you still in the mood? This reads like a plotline they rejected for the in-betweeners because it was too ridiculous. You really needed a briefcase wanker to intervene. We were too chavvy to have a will. As a recovering chav, I absolutely refused to have a live, laugh, love sticker on my wall in case I relapse. This made me snort. The rest made me wheeze laugh. Please keep posting your sexcapades. Sus, raised eyebrow. Chavs don't wheeze. Sorry, inside joke for my mate who plays Among Us. She eventually got me in debt, shagged my mate, and stole my cat, my daughter and my house. We've all been there too. Feel like the real today I fucked up is in this detail here. Today I fucked up by realizing I got scammed 6 years ago. So this happened 6 years ago. My laptop with 8 GB RAM stopped working, so I showed it to a repair guy. He took the laptop, repaired it, and returned it to me after 2 days. The laptop started working again and I was really happy. However, the speed felt slower than before. Previously, I could open multiple Chrome tabs and still be able to play games while they were open, but now it would drop a lot of frames and my laptop would start overheating. I thought maybe it's getting old, so that's why the performance is dropping. So I didn't care much. Fast forward to few days back. The same laptop stopped working again, so I called the same repair guy. He took the laptop again, repaired it and returned it to me in 2 days. This time when I started using the laptop, I could immediately tell something was off. The speed was ridiculously slower than before. If opened just 2 tabs on Chrome it would still overheat. I checked on YouTube for solutions and came across this video where he said to check on computer settings whether all my RAM slots were functioning properly and all my RAM cards were being detected. So I open computer setting and guess what I find out? It's reading only 2 GB of RAM. How the fuck did it drop to 2 GB from 8 GB? I thought it must be an error, so I restarted the laptop multiple times and it still read 2 GB. Then I called the repair guy and asked him about this. He replied it's just a minor error. It will fix automatically over time. Don't worry. I was so confused. I didn't believe him, so I opened the laptop myself and checked the RAM slots, and guess what I find? One of the RAM cards is missing, and the RAM card that was in it was not the one that I got with my laptop, because I remember it had a stylish border. So I looked up the card number online and found out that it was only 2 GB. I called the repair guy again and asked him about this. He said that he was also repairing another laptop and swapped RAM cards by mistake, and he was really sorry. So he came home the next day, swapped the RAM card with my original one and was about to leave when I asked him what about the second card. RG, what card? Me, the one that you stole from me years ago. RG, I don't know what you are talking about. Me, this is only 4 GB RAM. Don't try to fool me again. I'm calling the cops. RG, wait, I'm sorry. I think I remember now. I'll bring it. I had forgotten about it. So he brought it back and now my laptop is as fast as ever. I guess I would have never known about the stolen RAM card if I never called him again. Too long didn't read. Laptop repair guy stole one of my RAM cards 6 years ago and I learned that recently. I confronted him about it and after threatening him of calling cops on him, he surrendered and returned it to me. Update 1, holy shit. I did not expect this post to blow up. Thanks for all the awards. I have never got these many awards before. Speaking of the thief, I reported it to the customer service of his company. They told me they will take action against him. I will ask them again tomorrow and update it on this post. Update 2, the guy got fired from his company and got arrested. Apparently he had made over $5,000 by selling stolen electronic parts from all his customers. He had stolen things like cameras and graphic cards, etc. His company gave every one of his customers a huge discount coupon in return as a token of apology. The cops are still investigating the whole chain of these scammers. I hope they get caught soon. Also, I read most of the comments and I wanted to clear up some misconceptions people had. 1. He obviously did not return the exact same RAM card to me. He must have bought the same model from one of his friends from the chain. 2. How is this my today I fucked up? Well, if I had investigated this the first time my laptop got slow 6 years ago, then I could have not only saved 6 years of slow processing of information, but also prevented others from getting scammed in that time period. That fucker got arrested. It's a shame it took him so long. The lesson we should all learn from this is to be careful with whom you give your products to and try fixing things on your own. Don't be an idiot like me. Still, you should have called the cop. Only one cop though. So he scammed you out of notebook memory, which was pretty much cheap 6 years ago, and instead of selling it on eBay or something, he did what? Place it on his little scammer trophy board, so he could just hand it to you 6 years later. I'm confused. I'm not convinced the story is true, but I also don't interpret it as him giving the exact same pieces back. He just gave whatever ones he had to make it up to 8 gigabytes. Sounds like a win to me. I think I still would have given out an ass whooping. Think of all the time you've spent waiting for your computer to process the information when it should have been faster. That guy is an ass. Should call the cops on him anyway. You really should still report him though. He probably scammed so many more people who will never know. Exactly. I'd be filing a police report and slandering the fuck out of spreading the truth about this guy's business everywhere online. He's probably scamming a lot of older people who have no idea about this sort of stuff. This asshole deserves everything he gets. Low-life scamming scumbag. That's it. I'm learning how to fix absolutely everything myself. It's much easier than you think. Everything is just sort of like adult Legos, and for computers specifically r/buildup is usually friendly with new people.